Yeah. Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing, man. I'm about to give you guys my live fight commentary and reaction to the Richardson Hitchens versus George Kambosos. Shout out to everybody that's coming into the building. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, that'll be very much appreciated. You see what I mean? I hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments so far. Shout out to the boy AJ86 with the first comment of the day. Smoochie in the building. What up? About to see what Richardson Hitchens and George Kambosos is hitting for. Then, of course, after this fight, we'll discuss the Andy Cruz performance against Mashiro. I believe that's his name, and exactly what my thoughts are on what's going to be next for Keyshawn Davis and what they're looking to put him in position to do. You know what I mean? And then we're going to get into some open boxing topics as always, man. We're going to talk about Edwin De Los Santos and Samson Lukowicz separating, you know what I mean, amicably separating. And then we just going to chop it up, man. Might even get into some open topics, you know what I mean? If you want to talk about life, whatever the fuck the case is, need that real objective commentary. Well, look no further, sir, because that's what the fuck we give over here. Yeah, I had to get a haircut. That shit was getting brutal out here in these streets. My girl stopped liking me and shit like that. So, I mean, once it start getting like that, man, you gotta go ahead and just take yourself to the barbershop. You know what I'm talking about. We ain't gonna get into it on live. Once the unibrow start growing in, she, you know what I mean, she started looking all disgusted and shit. So I'm like, let me go ahead.
That's not true.
It's very true, actually. It's quite accurate, if I must say. Breezy, what up? All right, let's get into it. The bell is about to ring, and we're about to get it popping. George Kambosos looks ready. Richardson Hitchens looks ready. I seen that he came out with 8 Boogie. That shit was actually kind of dope. But the fight's getting started, and you can already tell what type of time Kambosos is on. He's looking to be the aggressor. And he doesn't want to be on the outside. You know what I mean? So you can already tell that he already got a hit for what the type of fighter Hitchens is. You can tell he's been studying. And he's taking his head off the line, and he's already trying to close the gap with his jab. So let's see exactly how that goes. Now, Hitchens, he has to just be his usual self in order to get the job done, in my opinion. And he's looking to establish his jab already. You see what I mean? And Kambosos is coming out, not necessarily guns blazing, but he's already punching with bad intentions, just letting Hitchens know that he's here. So yeah, he's definitely he's incorporating his stab to the body. He's taking his head off the line. You know what I mean? And Hitchens, he's just being his usual self. You know what I mean? Just trying to be sharp off of that jab and follow up with his right hand. And what I consider, Hitchens is obviously an athletic, gifted outboxer, but I've been critical of him in the sense where it's like he's limited with his offense, or he doesn't show much. I'm not going to say he's limited, but he doesn't show much variety in his offense. Like, he may be capable of doing more, but he hasn't really showed anything outside of, the 1-2 that he's been putting on display, especially in his recent bouts against like Liam Paro and stuff like that. So I want to see Hitchens get a little bit creative in here, man. If the 1-2 works, then, you could just be on autopilot and shoot the 1-2. But I want to see some new wrinkles in Hitchens' game. You feel what I mean? I'm sure he showed it against lower opposition, but it's safe to say he in there with legitimate contenders, vets, so I want to see a little bit more. You know what I mean? So it looks like they're having a little bit of a battle with the jabs right now. Hitchens countered with a beautiful right hand where Kambosos was coming in with his jab. Now, Kambosos is making a mistake right now because I'm being on the outside of the ring, I'm already picking up little tendencies that he's doing. And he's not being creative with his jab. He's shooting the same jab to the body over and over again. And Hitchens is already picking it up. So you already tell Hitchens' mind is sharp right now. You know what I mean? He's already picking up. He's watching Kambosos' moves. He's seeing what he's doing. And he's already countering with the right hand. You know what I mean? And just based off of what I'm seeing right now, Kambosos is going to have a tough night. I could already tell. He has a significantly shorter arms. And, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a great jab. But with somebody with one of the best jabs in boxing, in my opinion, with Richardson Hitchens, you got to beat him to it. or you gotta at least neutralize it. And Hitchens is an intelligent enough fighter to pick up on little tendencies and capitalize off of your mistakes right away. And I thought that was a Hitchens round. So that's the end of the first round. Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. He did come out. He came out with A Boogie, actually. He came out with A Boogie. So that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So Hitchens, that was a good look for him. I fuck with A Boogie heavy. Especially growing up. A Boogie was the man when I was in high school. John McSmith, what up? Ralph says, I'll be shocked if Kambosos wins more than 2 rounds in this fight, and that's being generous. I mean, the thing is with Kambosos, he got fast hands. He can be explosive, but it's like I don't necessarily. I think that he just don't got that type of recklessness to him. He ain't got that like. And I always refer to this fighter because he's like a great example of it. He ain't got that reckless dog grittiness to him like a balls to the wall pause type shit. Like Orlando Salido type fighter. You feel what I mean? He likes to use his skills. He like to think in there. He like to play chess to an extent, and that's what's gonna fuck him over with guys who have significant, advantages in the from the physical aspect. Like the reach, the height. You know what I mean? It's gonna be tough for him to do that. You feel what I mean? If Kambosos is able to get out of his head a little bit and realize that he cannot box with Richardson Hitchens and try to make it an actual brawl, then he might see some changes because Hitchens, let's keep it real. Like Hitchens is a great outboxer. You know what I mean? He got a lot of skills. You know what I mean? Like I said, he got one of the best jabs in the game. Where you place him, I mean, that's all opinionated. It's subjective, of course. But he doesn't like pressure. You know what I mean? He don't really like anybody, making him feel uncomfortable. He like to stick behind his jab and his right hand, and he'll keep you outside all day long with that. But the moment when you don't mind getting hit with that jab, or you know what I mean, you really don't respect his power, and you push him back and you make him fight your fight, then that's when you could really get the ball rolling in terms of seeing some type of success with Richardson Hitchens. But Kambosos, it just looks like he's falling into the same trap that he did with Devin Haney in terms of, trying to go wit for wit with a guy. But, this is easier said than done, obviously. You know what I mean? You never know what a fighter's going through in there, what they thinking, or, what they're not willing to experience in a sense. But the recipe's there. You know what I mean? We've seen it in the Lamos fight. And, Hitchens can blame it on, having a bad weight cut or whatever the case is. But the reality is he doesn't like pressure fighters. So I hope Kambosos did his homework and is willing to take those chances to see some type of, success. Because if not, this is going to be a surgical it's going to be a surgical session that's going to be taking place. Kambosos is not switching it up, man. He keeps coming in with that slip jab, and I see him throwing little shots to the body and stuff like that. And that's definitely what you want to do in the early rounds, especially with somebody like Hitchens. You know what I mean? You definitely want to try to take the legs from him, or at least, wear away at that gas tank a little bit. But it's the same jab every time. I'm surprised Hitchens hasn't really made him pay for it. Whether he counters him with the right hand or he counters him with the 2-1, something. That was a good leap and left hook from Hitchens. You don't really see that too often. You don't really see him using his hook, especially in his last couple fights. But, that was a solid Hitchens round as well, in my opinion. Kambosos' eye bleeding already. And he falling victim to it. He's staying outside. He's staying outside. And when you outside with a lengthy boxer like Richardson Hitchens, you're going to fall at the end of his punches. And that's the worst punches to get hit by. You see what I mean? So you want to avoid that at all costs. What you want to do, especially with somebody like, his eyes definitely swelled up on that, the lower right side. He got a little abrasion underneath, but nothing too bad. He's definitely been through worse. But what I'm going to say is, to get back to what I was saying, I'm sorry, I'm trying to listen to the corner advice as well. But Yeah, look, he's getting picked off. And the thing is, he's changing levels with the jab to the body, which is good. But he's literally having no insurance there. He's not bringing his other hand over while he jabs. You know, he's literally just shooting that jab right there. And all the fighter got to do is just place that right hand exactly where you keep putting your head towards. If you bringing your right hand, if you bringing your head off to the left side of his opponent's body, all he got to do is shoot that right hand over to his left side. Boom, you're going to run right into the shot. Now, if you bring this other hand over and jab to the body and change that level just a little bit, get a little lower, he's going to have trouble, getting that right hand off. But we're in the third round right now. I think that Richardson Hitchens has landed the more effective shots within these past 2 rounds. That was a beautiful right hand from Hitchens. Yeah, his fucking Hitchens' jab is clicking already, man. This is not looking good. In the jab department alone, Hitchens has landed 26 jabs, and Kambosos has only not landed 9. So this is he's landed almost triple the amount. You know what I mean? So this is already a bad look. This is not a good start for Kambosos, in honesty. And like I said, with somebody like Kambosos, who really don't got no business at 140, in all honesty, him being significantly smaller and having such short arms, he needs to make this an inside fight. You know what I mean? If you're going to have any type of success in this fight, it's going to be on the inside. Look, he's doing the same thing over and over again. Hitchens is picking up on it. He's not changing that level with that jab to the body. You keeping yourself right on the center line. Like, you dropping your head off the line just a little bit. So technically you're not on the center line, but you making it very easy for Hitchens to counter you with that right hand. You have no insurance. You have no insurance on that slip jab. Beautiful jab from Richardson Hitchens. And this is how it's going to go the entire 12 rounds if Kambosos decides to make this a chess match. And I tell my fighters this all the time. If you're capable of, beating a fighter in a chess match, then so be it. But the reality is there's going to be somebody who may be a little bit wittier than you. There may be somebody who's more intelligent than you. There may be somebody who's faster, better counterpuncher, faster feet. They may just be the superior boxer overall. So sometimes you just got to go get it. If you're in a situation and Kambosos' right eye is really starting to swell up off of that jab, man. Yeah, he's definitely. Kambosos is the dog, man. We've seen him in tough fights before, and give it all he's had. But this is already looking like a surgical ass whooping that's gonna be on the way. And look, Kambosos is getting a little bit. He's turning up the aggression a little bit. And at the end of that round, that's exactly what he needs to do consistently in order to see some change. And that was back Hitchens to the corner and rip combinations. Kambosos got fast hands, man. Speed kills. So if he's able to get Hitchens in an uncomfortable situation where he's fighting off of the ropes, he can punch in combinations and probably hit Hitchens with something that, could change the dynamic of the fight. But just being on the outside, that's not gonna work. And even though Hitchens may not be the bigger punch, he might not be a big puncher. I'm sure I always say this too. If you're not a big puncher, accumulation could be just as bad. You feel what I mean? Accumulation kills. That was a beautiful jab from Hitchens. Look, and he's just keeping the textbook. He's keeping the textbook, just shooting a 1-2. That's all he needs. That's all he needs, man. And he's not really giving you no different looks outside of that. So, with you being a high-level boxer, a former unified champion, you need to make those adjustments, man. You got to take that away from him. If you don't take that away from him, he gonna style on you. Kambosos has really good hand speed, man. He needs to use his abilities and make the most of it. I'm in round 4, correct? What round? I'm on the right round, right? This should not. I'm not behind, am I? Let me know. I don't expect. I don't expect to be like, too much ahead or of anybody or nothing like that. Hopefully, I'm not too behind. Oh, beautiful double jab right hand from Hitchens. Beautiful right hand. Will I drink it? You mad? Can I drink it? Do something about it. Word. That's what I thought, gangster. My son sleep? Yeah. Oh, dick. This is gonna be an absolute annihilation. Ooh, beautiful right hook to the body from Kambosos. He needs to stay there. I don't understand why. Like, what's wrong with Kambosos? Kambosos he landed a good right hook on the inside with Richardson Hitchens. Then he pulls back out and puts himself right back in Hitchens' range. You cannot let Hitchens catch you at the end of his punches, bro. You cannot be at mid range. You cannot be at long range with Richardson Hitchens. Both of those games, he got you beat. You need to fight him on the inside, man. You have to fight him on the inside. Somebody like Devin Haney, all right, they could do that with him. An elite level, boxer that is experienced at long range, mid range. All right, cool. But you have so many disadvantages physically in comparison to Richardson Hitchens. You cannot afford to fight at mid or long range with this guy. You literally gotta get in his chest, bro. Pause. That's just the reality. Like, you gotta fight this man on the inside. You gotta beat him to the body. You gotta overwhelm him. You gotta swarm him. This ain't gonna work. He said, "Oh shit." Hitchens is lighting him up, man. This shit is bad, bro. This is bad, bro. This is an onslaught. Some John came through and said, "I turned the fight off. I'm tired of seeing Kambosos get his butt kicked. He really brought up a 135 pounder that lost like 3 of his last 4 fights. It's just sad. I don't feel like being depressed." I feel you, John. This is a fight that I criticized as soon as I heard that it was, on the horizon before it was even signed. I seen Hitchens talking about it, and I'm like, why is Kambosos deserving of a title shot? Why is this your first title defense? That don't need to be the opponent at all. I would have much rather have seen, a top contender at 140. Not somebody who's coming up from 35. Hitchens is already a huge 140 as it is. Why are we seeing her fight, an average size lightweight moving up to 140? And y'all seen Kambosos on that scale. He ain't even have abs, bro. He looked like he ate the whole week in the lead up to the fight, bro. Like, disgusting. That ain't what we need to see at all. He had all this water in his abdominal area. He ain't got no business being at 140, to be honest with you. My boy Rouse said he's literally doing what he said he was going to do. In the face off, I'm staying there and beat you up. Yeah, because I'm sure Hitchens, before being, at the time he was offered the fight, he went and he studied Kambosos, or he knew Kambosos beforehand. They'd be like, "Oh, this dude ain't got no inside game. He ain't no pressure fighter. He like the boxing there. He ain't tall enough. He ain't got my reach. He ain't got my skill set. So I can sit at long range. He gonna sit there with me, and I can just pick him off, just like he doing right now. Just landed a beautiful right hand. And like I said, Hitchens isn't this big dynamic puncher. He's not gonna get you up out of there with one shot typically. However, at the same time, you don't want to get hit with too many of these shots throughout the course of 5 rounds. We're in the course of 12 rounds. We're in the 5th round right now, and Kambosos is already bruised up, abrasions. Who's to say within these next few rounds he won't get cut? He's getting hit that clean. You giving Hitchens nothing to worry about. This is a sparring session, bro. This is a sparring session, to be honest with you. And I'm trying to give you guys positive things that Kambosos is doing. That was a beautiful right hook to the body from Kambosos, but it's not consistent. And he steps right back out of, being on the inside. It's like, I don't understand with somebody like the physical characteristics that Kambosos has, how he will not be comfortable on the inside. You got short arms. You're a short fighter. You know what I mean? You got fast hands. You got good body shots. You got good combinations. Why wouldn't you want to fight on the inside against a taller, rangier fighter who has the superior jab and the superior right hand? So, that hurt Kambosos. That body shot hurt Kambosos. Kambosos is about to go down. Ooh, Hitchens got him hurt to the body. Ooh, wee. Kambosos trying to fight him off. But he bent over and all. Another bad body shot. Oh, he's hurt bad. He tried to fight him off, but his body is completely. He's in a whole lot of pain right now. He's trying to weather the storm. I think it was a left uppercut or a left hook to the body that really got Kambosos really bad. He caught him right inside his elbows. I seen the shot. I can't wait to see the replay. That was a bad one. He winced in pain and all. He did not like that, but it already looks like Kambosos is recovering. That was nasty. That was a beautiful body shot. And see, you know, if he would have smothered Hitchens, it would have been less likely that Hitchens would have got that shot off. But we need to see this replay. Get out of here, man. I need to see this replay. Was that a left uppercut? In Philly, we call that a shovel to the body. Let me see. Was that a shovel? Look at Kambosos. What you mad? You gotta. Why are you so mad that I'm drinking out of it? You making faces and all when I'm drinking the juice. What's the problem? Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Look at Campbell. Look Teofimo. Rate him 0 out of 10. His looks. How he look?
That's the guy with the big nose, right?
Yeah. That's an ugly motherfucker right there. I'm gonna answer it for you. The fucking racist. Look at this clown. I'm behind. Oh, Terrence Smith, I'm behind. Should I try to refresh it?
No, he's perfect.
That's not true. I'm about to refresh it. I don't want to be too behind. You know what I mean? I didn't even get to see the replay because T.O. ugly ass was distracting me with his nose. Kambosos is the IQ is not there, man. It's almost embarrassing. It's almost embarrassing that T.O. I mean, I'm not even gonna say it's almost. It's embarrassing that T.O. lost to this man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And this ain't no, you know, like I ain't trying to shit on the dude. You know what I mean? I ain't that type of bull. You feel me? I ain't the type to kick somebody while he down. However, you can just tell the IQ is not there. Like he got some good attributes. I like his hand speed. I like how the way he throw combinations. I like his dog. I like his determination, his resiliency. But the skills, you know what I mean? Like the brain power behind this fighter is just, you know, inferior to, you know, to be honest with you, compared to these, you know, higher level guys. It's almost like, how the fuck did he beat T.O.? Like, I don't know, bro. It's crazy. Let me see. Is that Chris Mannix who's scoring this card? He's giving Hitchens every single round. I'm inclined to agree with him. Look like Hitchens bleeding out the mouth a little bit. I don't know if he got hit with a good shot or what, but he don't really look affected or phased at all. This has definitely been all Richardson Hitchens, though. And I already told you guys what Kambosos needs to do in order to get this W. But, you know, he's continuing to stay at mid to long range. And now he's doing exactly what he shouldn't be doing. And that's, you know, going on the back foot against Hitchens. No upper body movement whatsoever. You know, just attempting to box with this man. It makes absolutely zero sense. You got to know as a fighter when you're, you know, superior in some aspects, on the same level, or inferior in some aspects, and you need to go about it accordingly. Like if I know, somebody's a better outside fighter than me, you think I'm gonna fight an outside game? How about mid range? Let's say I'm better at mid range than him. You think I'm not gonna fight him at mid range? What if I'm the better inside fighter? You think I'm not gonna fight him on the inside? I don't really understand it. Forever dedicated. I am not going to answer that question. We definitely, Smoochie, after this fight, we definitely going to talk about Andy Cruz's performance and what I saw and where I feel like he's at this point in his career. Woo-wee! Yep, it was a left uppercut to the body. I don't know why they're showing the replay now, but you can see Kambosos was in a lot of pain. Got him right to the liver. Left uppercut right to the liver. Beautiful shot. And, I've heard this from like the OGs who've, trained world champions and, coached at a high level. Whenever you got somebody hurt to the body, they say go to the head. If you hurt somebody to the head, you should go to the body. We got to pack up these spam accounts, y'all. Kyle Fly, what up? See, Smoochie, you gotta understand this, and this is actually like I understand your frustration, and what you're seeing is the right thing. In terms of Hitchens, with Kambosos' game plan not working, and he should be looking to switch up his approach. This is what you gotta understand, and a lot of people who starting to learn boxing, the ability to adapt amongst fighters is very rare. You know what I'm saying? Not every fighter. Ooh, that was a beautiful right hand from Hitchens. You can't take too many. Kambosos can't take too many more of those, man. You know what I mean? We still got the 7th, and we got 5 more rounds on top of that. He don't need to be taking any more of those flush shots like that. You know what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying with Smoochie, the ability to adapt is very rare amongst fighters, and in all honesty, the ability to adapt is what separates you from a good fighter from a great fighter. You feel what I mean? If you have that ability, you're gonna be a notch above a lot of other fighters, because let's just keep it real. There's some fighters who only know one way. You know what I mean? They only know one way. They only got one approach, and if that doesn't work, they pretty much assed out. There's not many fighters you can name that got a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Like, for instance, Cruz, you know what I mean? He's one of the biggest examples in the sport today where, all he know is this one recipe. You feel what I mean? Like, let's say, and I always like to refer to cooking. Let's say his specialty is bacon, right? That motherfucker, he can make a good cake. He can make, cookies, whatever the case is. But when it comes to pasta or steak and stuff like that, he completely out of his league. You feel what I'm saying? So Cruz, he only know one way. If you get past that, if you're able to neutralize that one way, he's good as dead. Kambosos, from what I see, he doesn't look like he has much versatility on his end. Because if he did, he will understand that this game plan isn't working. All right, let's switch it up to this right here. Look, Les, and I like to bring up this example because it's more recent. Caleb Plant versus Trevor McCumbee, right? Caleb Plant attempted to box McCumbee from the outside. It wasn't working. McCumbee was too strong, and Caleb Plant knew he couldn't take many more punches from him. He was already getting wobbled, you know what I mean, getting hurt, getting flashed and shit. But he realized, oh, this dude don't got an inside game. We're going to have to fight an inside fight. And that's what he did, and that's what ultimately got him the knockout, because McCumbee cannot fight on the inside. I said all of that to say Kambosos isn't capable of making adjustments, and if he was, he would have been did it by now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they may realize that their game plan is not working, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they could switch the game plan up and resort to different tactics. They don't have them. They don't have those tactics with them. They're not equipped with the ability to make adjustments. It is what it is. And like I said, that's what separates a good fighter from a great fighter. Good jab. Ooh, good left hook. Look at oh shit. Look at now Hitchens is turning it up. He's gonna stop Kambosos, y'all. Now he has absolutely zero respect for Kambosos. He's switching up the whole game plan now. He was boxing him, he was doing typical Hitchens stuff, but now he's walking to Kambosos. He know Kambosos don't got anything left. So now he's stepping to him and he's ripping hooks. He's ripping hooks to the head and the body. He's looking to dog him because he know he got this in the bag. You don't really see Hitchens bringing out that left hook. So if he's trying to turn his punches over, that's because he know he got you. Hitchens could definitely stop him. He could definitely stop him. With accumulation, he could get the job done. He just got to put them punches together. We in the 8th round. And this is exactly why I didn't want to see this fight. You see what I'm saying? His leg injured. Oh, I must be behind like a motherfucker. Hitchens just screamed to Kambosos' corner to stop the fight. So he must know something that they don't know. Simba Lion. Oh, body shot just put Kambosos down. He's done. They need to stop this shit. This is it's over. They need to stop it. They need to stop it. Yeah, good stoppage. Good stoppage. It was too much, man. It was too much. Hitchens just put on a good performance against George Kambosos. We're gonna talk about it. He definitely just put belt to ass. That was an annihilation. Wow. This was an absolute shellacking. This was definitely a wash, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. They didn't even look like they was on the same caliber. They wasn't on the same level. Whatever Hitchens wanted to do, he did, man. He put on a great display of boxing in terms of another left hook to the body. See, he knew Hitchens was he knew Kambosos was done, man. Kambosos cannot hold up to the body. He must have studied that Lomachenko fight, the same dude he was talking shit about, and realized that, there's some holes in his game, especially to the body. And, when you look at Kambosos, body, pause, you could tell he's not in the best shape. He looks soft down there. It looked like he don't belong at the fucking weight. Too small. And Hitchens, like I said, he's not the biggest puncher. But if you take enough punches from a bigger man, it will wear on you. And he was taking punishment from the very beginning. The jab met its mark immediately. Kambosos started to bruise up immediately. You know what I'm saying? It was a great display of accuracy on Hitchens' part, a great jab, a great right hand. And then what I mean by accuracy is how on point the jab was, along with the body attack. He placed a beautiful body shot a few rounds prior that got Kambosos' attention. He was making faces and trying to weather the storm as best as he can, but he's just not on Richardson Hitchens' level, man. And I think we all had that notion going into this fight, especially before the fight was made official, and it showed tonight. And this is exactly why we didn't really care for this fight. Richardson Hitchens successfully defends his IBF junior welterweight title. So now he is 20-0 with 8 knockouts. Ralph said, "Then this nigga Kambosos got his ass whooped on his birthday." Yeah, for those who didn't know, today is Kambosos' birthday. Not an ideal way to spend your birthday, but at the same time, probably got a nice check, so can't be all too bad. All right, let's hear what Hitchens got to say. You come back 6 months later in New York, and you put on a performance that looks even better. How did you feel about the way you fought tonight? First, I just want to thank God, for everything. A few years ago, I think over 4 years ago, I was watching TFP and George Kambosos go to battle in his boy. I was sitting somewhere on the stands, and I said, when I get my opportunity, I would make the best of it. And with the help of Eddie Murphy, Keith Conley, they changed my life in a matter of 2 years. The fight itself, I've been telling the boxing world I'm the truth. Everybody that knows Richardson Hitchens, if you don't know, now you know. I've been telling the boxing world I was coming, and they should have listened, so now I'm here. We knew the jab has been a part of your arsenal all throughout your career, but it was the body work tonight that really seemed to get the job done. How much was that a part of the game plan coming in? I watched George. I seen the fight with him and Devin Haney. I knew that Devin Haney didn't really take it inside, and he was head on a lot when he did have hurt. So I said, I'm gonna touch him with a short shot. So when I did touch him with a short shot, I seen how he put it, and I smelled blood, but I just wanted to keep punishing. And I told his dad, "You love your son, you'll stop the fight." So he was tough. He was a super fighter, but I was the better man tonight. Coming into this fight, I think a lot of people would have said, "Hey, Richardson can win a decision pretty easy. Like, will he step on the gas? Will he go for the knockout? Will he look to be spectacular?" Was that on your mind tonight? Yeah, I knew that I had to go. I had to go to some unsafe places to get some good shots off. So I put myself in harm's way, but I knew I had good defense. I knew I could take a punch. He got me a couple good shots, but it didn't really hurt me. So I just went for the play field. So I always knew I had in me, but the fight would be so easy on the outside where I don't gotta take a chance. But now I'm getting more comfortable as a professional. I said, all right, let's sit in there and dig and test my defense out. Landed that body shot in the last round, so you know that was going to finish the fight. I wanted to stop the fight, but I got it with the body shot, and I followed up to the gold throw. You got your title still, and I know you want bigger, better things in the 140-pound division. Yo, dedicated. Stop talking shit, man. Look, Tiafimo about to step in the ring. I'm going into free agency now, so there's a lot of options, and I want the big fights. After my last fight, I called Tiafimo out right away. Obviously he got other plans, so I was next. I think Tio got in the ring. Yeah, he in the ring. Fuck you, nigga. Let's fight. New York, stand up, baby. We here, baby. Congratulations, Richardson. Tremendous performance. George, we'll come over. Yes. George Kambosos
Didn't go your way tonight, George. What went wrong for you, Lauren?
Look at the talent. I fought him more, man. You got Hitchens. He's falling at Haney. The fucking top four, I'm going to check out. I fought him more, man. I'm not going to worry. Hello, they're all got bodies. And you know what I've been saying? Yeah, I touched this, man. I really believed in myself, but just didn't have that time. He's really good tonight. So, hey, he didn't really do the body shot. I still got up at 10, 9, 10, but the ref's got to do his job. And like I said, look at the ring in here. You got champions in here, so I don't fight them all, man. So the boxing world, they're going to talk a little bit now, but I hope you guys appreciate the warrior that I am. I fight the best, so it is what it is.
You knew you'd have to get inside that jab of Hitchens. You had trouble doing it for most of the night. Why couldn't you get inside that one punch?
It's a timing, man. I've had maybe too many wars here, so couldn't get that timing right, couldn't get the movement right. A couple times got in there, flipped him a couple times, I thought I put him nice a couple times, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm a warrior.
Kambosos is speaking from an aspect where he might not see himself boxing that much longer. You said fight the best, fuck the cherries, Kambosos. You were the cherry in this situation. That's the reality.
Thank you for watching, Lord. I always love you guys. And look, we're at the drawing board, but all the best to Richie and his team. What they do next, look, man, I chased it. I really believe in it, but big look at me today. I'll sit there as well, you know. They're all champions, man. I'm still 2-1 here in MSC. So God bless everyone. And New York, I love you guys. Thanks.
All right, Eddie Hearn, let's start for you, Dan Bino, while you're hanging out here as well. Eddie, let's start your Richardson's performance tonight.
Yeah, great performance. George is a warrior, but that's what we need when Richie can come out, step on the gas after the domination. Sometimes we would let that just over 12 rounds.
I swear, Eddie Hearn, the only promoter that does a post-fight interview in the ring every time. Like, the nigga just love talking. Hold on, let me turn that shit off.
Everybody's wondering what you're going to do next. Is a unification fight with Richardson Hitchens something you consider?
Hey, I just want to say, shout out, thank God for making this possible for everybody. Yeah, absolutely. What was it that he stopped with? All right, infinite. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Unification, here we go.
Is that the fight you want? Is that something we heard about you, Lieutenant, Devin Haney? Is Richardson Hitchens the fight that you want to do that?
I don't know. Let me hear it in New York. Y'all want to see that fight? All right, man. I'm all about the people. Let's go, baby.
You're not all about the people, Tio, because if you was all about the people, you would have fought Dev next.
Working with him, doing big fights with him. What's the big fight out there you think is there for Richardson Hitchens?
I think this man, you heard him talk about Devin Haney. We had a great run with Tio. We're talking with Pete about where we go from here and moving forward. It's time for him to land a big fight now.
Appreciate that. Guys, thank you so much, Chris. So a lot going on
All right.
there,
So that's the fight. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you guys my honest and objective opinion on this whole situation. Then we're going to speak about the Andy Cruz fight as well. Beautiful left hook to the body from Hitchens. They just showed the replay over again.
He went for the knockout. He asked for this fight. He wanted to get the knockdown and look, that body shot. Beautiful shot right there. The liver doesn't forget pain, Corey. Once he went down the first time, it was only a matter of time for him to go down again. And Hitchens knew that. But he kept softening him up with that jab upstairs, lining him up with that right hand, and setting him up ultimately for that knockdown downstairs.
Let's take a look at the top of the box punch that.
All right, I think that's it. They said what they needed to say. So let's talk about it, shall we? Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. Y'all go ahead and hit them robots with them wrenches because they out here trying to come up off a nigga. They scamming as always. But let's talk about the Simba says Hitchens beat Matias. That's a totally different fight, brother. We can't have this recency bias right now and assume because he stepped on Kambosos that, suddenly he's going to be successful against Matias. Totally different style. You know what I mean? They bring different things to the table. Kambosos and Matias, there's a clear size difference between the two. Their mentalities are different. They bring different tools to the table. So we can't assume because he defeated George Kambosos, an average size lightweight at best, going up to 140. We can't assume because he beat him that he'll beat Matias. You know what I'm saying? Kai Fly, you got to understand that there ain't no, and this is a cliche that goes on in boxing. Triangle theories don't work in the sport of boxing. Just because Hitchens defeated Paro, who defeated Matias, does not mean that Matias will defeat Hitchens. Doesn't mean that Hitchens will defeat Matias. You know what I mean? So we can't. Triangle theories don't work out in boxing. Benjamin Irvin. Let me answer a few more. Then I'm out of. Then I'm gonna speak about the fight. He said, "What's the point of calling out Devin if you're not going to 47?" I don't know, brother. I genuinely don't know, but I've heard Hitchens allude to, moving up the welterweight soon. So he might not be talking about a fight next, even though he said next. He may have been talking more about the future, but regardless, I do think that's a fight that can happen at welterweight. It depends on when Hitchens feels like going up the welterweight. Why you saying, Mark, come on? Like, what did I say that was wrong? What I said was true. You know what I mean? Just because, all right, so Paro beat Matias, right? We seen that happen. He outclassed Matias. He beat him in his hometown. Just because he defeated Matias in Puerto Rico and Hitchens defeated Paro does not mean that Hitchens will defeat Matias. I could give you multiple examples of how triangle theories do not work in boxing. I'm telling you something good. I'm just saying, like, let's not get because a lot of boxing fans, man, they got this habit of, having strong, like, recency bias. You know what I mean? So let's say Matias goes and he stops Puello. Let's say he beats the fuck out of Puello. Then we're going to have people like, oh, man, it just can't defeat Matias yet. Like, y'all be all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, y'all got to remain objective. Y'all can't let recent performances, and I know you're only as good as your last performance, but at the same time, we cannot, let recent performances hinder, our perspective. Yeah, Anonymous, he got stepped on for his birthday, but you know what I mean? I guess he getting paid on his birthday too. He seemed like he ain't tripping about it. He was like, man, I couldn't get my time in. I fought all these good guys. I'm a warrior. It is what it is. So he not really tripping. And to be honest with you, that perspective that Kambosos got, he even alluded to being in a lot of wars. It don't seem like he going to be in boxing too much longer. He probably going to get a couple more checks and he going to bounce. That's what it's looking like. Sound like a defeated guy. And he was defeated, so that makes sense. But regardless, let's talk about this performance. I did not make a prediction video for this because I thought it was pretty clear what I thought. There wasn't really nobody saying that Kambosos was going to defeat Hitchens. Everybody knew from the gate that Kambosos did not have the tools necessary to defeat Richardson Hitchens, right? We questioned why this would be a first title defense for him, and I understand that, Hitchens, Hitchens needs a title defense, you know what I mean? They probably wanted to give him the safest homecoming fight possible with a somewhat credible name. Kambosos is a former unified champion. He defeated Teofimo Lopez, who's currently a relevant fighter and a world champion at 140. So, it sounds good on paper, but we knew stylistically that Kambosos did not have the tools necessary to defeat no fucking Richardson Hitchens. And we could go back to the Devin Haney fights. Devin and Hitchens, they had some differences, but they also had similarities in being tall, rangy outboxers with some athleticism. You feel what I'm saying? So Kambosos couldn't really figure out Devin Haney in the two fights that he had with him. He likes to sit, at mid-range or long range. He doesn't really like to, fight on the inside for some apparent reason. He just don't got that in him. And we knew because he had that mentality to make it an ugly fight, a rough, rugged fight like a Salido or even, Hitchens' previous opponents with Gustavo Lemos. We knew he didn't have that type of style in him in order to see some type of success. And, what happened. I didn't think that Hitchens was going to get the stoppage. I just thought he was going to outclass him. But as soon as I seen that Hitchens placed that body shot on Kambosos and he did not react well to it, I knew it was only downhill from there. And I kept telling y'all that accumulation is a motherfucker. And Kambosos cannot afford to take too many shots from that significantly bigger guy. Who's boiling down to get the 140 in all honesty. Kambosos got on that scale and looked like he just hopped off the couch or he looked like he was training a little bit. He didn't look like he really had the do too much to make the weight. So you don't want to take too many punches from significantly bigger guys like that, regardless of whether they punches or not. You're gonna feel the effects. Hitchens showed a great jab. You know what I mean? He definitely got one of the best jabs in the game. I'm gonna just tell y'all that. And that's one of the best. That's the best punch in boxing. That's the most important punch in boxing, and he got one of the best ones. I would love to make a list regarding, you know, who has the best jabs in boxing. You feel what I mean? I think that'll be a great conversation. What is dedicated? Why is you talking spicy, my nigga? What is you talking about? You saying niggas is tripping? What is we tripping about? Did I say Matias would beat Hitchens? I said just because Hitchens defeated Kambosos doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat Matias. I never jumped out the window and said that Matias was just going to beat Hitchens. What I am going to say is that Richardson Hitchens historically has not been particularly interested in facing Subriel Matias. You know what I mean? And if you're referring to John, you got to mention John's name, brother, because you're saying y'all niggas. So as far as I'm concerned, that's plural. So you got to be a little bit more direct with what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be a little careful when we write in these comments. But regardless, what I'm gonna say is this: Hitchens put on a great display of boxing. Great jab, great right hand. He was his typical self. You know what I mean? He kept Kambosos at the end of his punches. The accuracy was on point to the head and the body. And you know, he showed a little bit of killer instinct as well. You know what I mean? He seen he had Kambosos hurt. He let his punches go. He wasn't able to take him out right away, but he stood on the mission. He knew that he had Kambosos within his reach, you know, in terms of stopping him. So he started pressing Kambosos a little bit. He started showing a little bit of aggression. He started to push Kambosos back. And once I seen Kambosos on the back foot, I knew it was only a matter of time before he got hurt again. And that's exactly what happened. You know, the first time he got hurt was with a left uppercut to the body. You know what I mean? Second time around, it looked more like a left hook to the body. Both times they hit the liver. Both times he didn't respond well. And Hitchens, prior to stopping Kambosos, told his corner to stop the fight. So he knew what was going to happen, but he just didn't want to really damage George Kambosos. You know what I mean? It was a dominant performance. Hitchens won every round. And, you know, he did what he needed to do. But it was everything that we thought it was going to be. Some people thought Kambosos was going to make it to the scorecards because, you know, Hitchens is reluctant to, you know, take chances. You know what I'm saying? Like he's reluctant to take chances, but with that type of work that he had and knew that he was classes above Kambosos, you know, he didn't mind, you know, changing gears. You feel me? So yeah, y'all gotta calm down in the comments. It's just boxing, y'all. We not talking about niggas' wives or nothing like that. Y'all gotta chill. You feel me? It ain't that serious. But anyway, shout out to the 40 people that's in the building, man. He put on a great display of boxing. I did not go live while Andy Cruz was fighting Mashiro, but we could definitely talk about that and what I assessed from his performance. First of all, man, where the fuck did this Mashiro dude come from? Like, this dude was horrible. Horrible. Like, I don't know how he got to where he got to. I don't know how he got in this position to face Andy Cruz. I don't know how the fuck he's the number one lightweight in Japan. That dude is absolutely terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I'm not talking about Andy Cruz. I'm talking about Mashiro. Mashiro, stiff, robotic, jab slow, zero defense, combination. He looked like he was a little strong, but even then he didn't have a high knockout ratio. I'm sitting here trying to think. There got to be something about this dude that has gotten him to this position. It got to be something in his toolbox. And, you know, he showed some heart. You know what I mean? He didn't automatically, walk out the door. You feel what I mean? Like, he didn't bow out immediately. So he had some heart. He had some, determination and things like that. And those are good qualities. But, looking at the dude, bro, he had a big ass head, little ass neck, no upper body movement. Jab looked terrible. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was sitting there thinking like, yo, I'll probably get this nigga some work. I ain't even gonna lie. Like right now. You know what I mean? Like if it was a 4-round bout, I probably would have edged him. I probably would have got a split. Like out of shape, probably would have beat him, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, cuz. But like the dude was terrible. Like he didn't even look explosive, like nothing. I'm like, bro, how the fuck did this dude get in this position? So I started looking through his box rec and shit like that. Nah, he wouldn't smoke me, Yasir. You out your fucking mind. Not with that shit. You tripping. He would not smoke me. You got me fucked up. You better do your Googles. But anyway, looking at this dude, he done fought all over Asia. You know what I mean? He really was fighting like in Japan. He fighting, the Philippines, and he fought in Australia, South Korea. But like he never really did anything on his resume where I'm like, oh, all right. Like, you know what I mean? He did his thing. Like the best he done did was beat like an 8-0. But besides that, bro, he's lost to lesser fighters. So I'm like, damn. This may have been just a result of good matchmaking. He might have just been the result of good matchmaking. And you going to really, I don't know if I would stop, dude. You feel what I mean? Because I'm out of shape. I'd probably be a little reserved with it. If I'm in shape, I definitely beat him up. You tripping. He too small for me. But just like really assessing his resume and shit like that, man, I'm like, damn, this dude didn't really have no notable wins, but he's the number one lightweight in Japan out of 144 that's ranked on BoxRec currently. And he's ranked in the top 10 in the world as well. I'm like, bro, how the fuck did he? I mean, the top 15. How the fuck did he get there? How the fuck did he get there? I'm not even like, I'm not even trying to shit on the dude. You know what I mean? But Andy Cruz absolutely styled on him, man. That was a great display of accuracy as well. Great jab, great boxing ability. I'm seeing the lateral movement. I'm seeing Andy Cruz develop, in front of the people's eyes. You feel what I mean? He's definitely growing and progressing as a professional. He found you could tell he's sitting down on his punches more. He got a little bit of steam on his punches. He rocked Mashiro with the right hand initially, then followed up with the right hand, was able to get the first knockdown. Mashiro kept getting up, man. So you gotta applaud him for his bravery. You feel what I mean? Because when people get under them lights, they fold and they cower. You know what I'm saying? But Mashiro, he did what he could with what he had. He just wasn't on Andy Cruz's level. That was a complete wash, to be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it real. He didn't belong in the ring with Andy Cruz, bro. Like, to be honest with you, I think there's like local Philly fighters in Philly right now that'll pack Mashiro up quick, fast, in a motherfucking hurry. Quick, fast, in a motherfucking hurry. All right, let's keep it real. Mashiro not beating on Nair Albright at all. You feel me? Like he not beating no top 135s in Philly. He beating. You feel what I'm saying? But locking in more on Andy Cruz's approach, I did see that. I don't think he was necessarily fatigued, but I did see him taking rest, like focusing on his breathing at certain points. I think it was after that knockdown, and he started letting his hands go more. I think he was trying to get the stoppage and he wasn't able to. So like I think as a result, he wasn't necessarily winded, but he had to get back on his, he had to recover a little bit. You feel what I mean? And he was able to. He started putting his hands together again, was able to get the stoppage. You feel what I'm saying? So Andy Cruz did a phenomenal job. Shout out to Bozy and them for really doing a great job developing Andy Cruz from a top-notch, amateur boxer to, a solid pro. You feel what I mean? Definitely a solid pro. Mashiro was just not on his level. Not on his level at all. But Andy Cruz did what he needed to do to show him that he didn't belong in there with him. He got the stoppage, and he looked good while he was doing it. So congratulations to Andy Cruz on that victory. He's now the number one guy for the IBF title at 135 pounds. Raymond Mordecai most recently just got elevated to the IBF lightweight champion of the world. So we might see a top rank and matchroom matchup in due time. You feel what I'm saying? So Andy Cruz got a lot of good things going on, man, and he has a good world title fight on his hands, man. We're gonna see some changes in his lightweight division soon. We might actually start to see some fights. You know what I mean? We might be able to see some fights with Keyshawn vacating his title. You know what I mean? We're gonna see Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes fight for it, most likely. Most likely we'll see Andy Cruz versus Raymond Mortataya if they're able to reach some type of deal. It's going to be a lot of course, we got the Tank and Lamont Roach rematch. We got Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda. So it's some good shit going on in the lightweight division. I know historically, lightweight division been getting shitted on because guys not fighting each other, but we starting to see like not the biggest fights, but we starting to see some competitive fights that may change up the division a little bit. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. Corey 5 Mac, what up? He says, Mark, what's good, my boy? Good haircut. Queens to Philly, man. Shout out to Queens. Shout out to Queens, man. Shout out to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Shout out to Harlem. You know what I mean? Everybody that be coming through and showing love, man. You feel what I mean? I ain't seeing eye to eye with some New York niggas right now, but you know it's all love. My father from Brooklyn. He from Coney Island. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy Ree. He from Brooklyn as well. I'll be fucking with him saying he from Queens and shit, but he a Brooklyn nigga, man. So, salute. You know what I mean? And we had New York in the building, cuz. We had New York in the building. We got I seen Richardson Hitchens. You know what I mean? He a Brooklyn nigga. He walked out with A Boogie from High Bridge. That's out in the Bronx. You feel what I mean? So New York was definitely in the building. Tiafimo was in the building, but he ain't New York for real. I don't fuck with down low boxing. You feel me? I don't fuck with down low boxing. That's all. Terrence Smith said he didn't look worse than Cornflake. Damn. That's crazy. Shout out to my boy Thomas Lamana, man. He tried his best. I mean, Jamal just said he different. It's gonna take somebody, it's gonna take somebody really good to beat somebody like Jamal, man. No, New York don't jack T.O. We know that. That's why he mad. That's why he mad. He ain't got no fan base for real. But he want niggas to pay him like he got one. But don't nobody claim him. Don't nobody from Honduras give a fuck about boxing. Spain don't claim T.O. because T.O. had an identity crisis at one point. One day, he a Honduran nigga. The other day, he a Spaniard. Then he online talking about how, he got a hook like a Puerto Rican. Then he going around saying that they ain't no racist, the human race. Like this nigga's an idiot, bro. He's an idiot. I would love to bring Thomas Lamana back up on here. You know what I mean? I would love to bring him back up on here. I got to reach out to him. I'm sure I wouldn't have a problem doing that. Terrence Smith said Hitchens supposed to look good against George. Let's see how he looks against a Devin or T.O. I agree with you, brother. I would love to see, Richardson Hitchens take on either one of those guys. You know what I mean? Although I would like to see Devin and T.O. fight each other. But if you throw Hitchens in the mix, I wouldn't necessarily be too mad. It ain't exactly what I want, but I wouldn't be too mad. You feel what I'm saying? So you see Devin in Africa. What do I see it looking like? That's going to be a chess match through and through, man. Because, as like I said, they have differences. You feel what I'm saying? But they also have similarities. They both tall for their weight class, rangy, outboxers that got good speed, got good hand speed. In all honesty, I do think that Devin's the faster fighter, especially on the feet. That'll be a fucking great fight, bro. In terms of if y'all one of these, oh man, let's create a no running rule in boxing. This ain't gonna be the fight for y'all because I can already tell that y'all not intellectually inclined for that type of fight. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers who really appreciate the art of hitting and not getting hit. You know what I mean? We gonna love that type of fight. Me personally, as a boxing coach, me coming up in boxing and understanding the sport for what it is, I would love to see that fight. Just to see how motherfuckers think in there. their abilities to make adjustments. I do think that Devin is the more skilled fighter, just due to the fact that offensively, I think he got more in the tool bag, and I think he is faster. But Hitchens, you can make a case that I don't even know if you can necessarily say that Hitchens is bigger than Devin Haney. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Hitchens has been a full-blown 140 off of the rip, and Devin Haney, you feel what I mean? Like, he's just starting to get into these bigger weight classes. I don't know. You know what I mean? They may be even in the size department, pause, but, they had some similarities and they had some differences. Terrence Smith says Hitchens a level under Devin. I think if you give Hitchens a little bit more experience at a high level, you know what I mean, that can start to be more of an even fight. But I do think that Devin has the faster feet and the faster hands. The jab department, they may be even, but I do feel like Devin's jab is faster. And in the experience department, Devin got that. You feel what I mean? Like, Hitchens just starting to make a name for himself. He's just starting to, get shit cooking and having people recognize who he is. He's just starting to get respect sent his way. You know what I mean? With Paro and Kambosos, you know what I mean? He beating up on these Australian dudes and shit like that. So he's starting to pick up a name. But Dev, at this point, he done been in there with multiple world champions. You know what I mean? More notable names. So Devin, he might be the favorite going into that fight, but I think that'll be a good-ass chess match where it's rounds where it'd be too close to call type shit. That's my personal opinion. And I think that'll be a good build-up because, they don't like each other. Hitchens and Africa. I was about to say Hitchens and Africa. Devin and Africa, they don't like each other. They saying this because of a bitch. One person saying this because of a bitch, and the other nigga saying it ain't. It's just competitive. It's just him just wanting competition. I don't know, but I think it's safe to say they don't like each other. If a motherfucker in the ring saying fuck the Hangies, he don't really got too much respect for you, to be honest. Slime said, I want to see Hitchens versus Russell. Man, that style would be terrible for Hitchens, bro. If Gary Antoine Russell boxes, if he fights Hitchens like how the way he fought Rayo, Hitchens is going to be in trouble. That's a nigga that will make Hitchens very uncomfortable in the ring. Hitchens don't want that. He don't want to go through that right now. Why would he fight Russell when he could get bigger, more money fights with a T.O., who may be an easier style for him? To be honest with you, T.O. may be an easier style for him than Gary Antoine Russell. Let's keep it 1,000. You know what I mean? T.O., he's historically had trouble with motherfuckers who, box and use movement. You feel what I mean? He don't really like being in there with guys that he got to look for it. He like motherfuckers to come to him. You feel me? He don't really like niggas who, give him a little run for his money, or he don't like the look. I heard Greg Hackett say this, and it was facts. He said T.O., and this is the same assessment that I've made in the past. He like motherfuckers to stand in front of him, like Steve Claggett and shit like that. He even says it in the ring. Oh, nobody wants to stand in front of me. And he has emotional breakdowns and shit, like with Sandor and Jermaine Ortiz. Greg said that he like his food to come to him. He don't like to look for his food. That's a fact. You could tell. You don't need to be no scientist to observe that. That's a fact. Great point by Greg, man. You know what I mean? You don't think Hitchens got the skill set to beat Russell? I think to beat somebody like Gary Antoine Russell, you either got to match his volume or you need to be a superb counterpuncher. Now, when we look at Hitchens' style, he's not the guy who shoots the most volume. You know what I mean? And Hitchens isn't necessarily known for his big counter. He's not really known for his counterpunching ability either. Richardson Hitchens is an outboxer, bro. You know what I mean? He keep you at the end of his punches. You know what I mean? Once he line you up the jab, he going to follow through with the right hand. He going to make you reset. You know what I mean? He's a rangy outboxer. You feel what I'm saying? So he could disrupt, Gary Antoine's rhythm with his jab and shit like that. But let's say Gary Antoine makes it his business to be first the majority of the time. Hitchens is going to have a tough time dealing with Gary Antoine Russell. That is a bad style for him. That's a bad style to him, man. The speed, the athleticism, the explosiveness, you know, his conditioning, his ability to be strong for all 12 rounds, and still Gary Antoine Russell fires in the 12th round like he do in the first round. That's dangerous. Somebody with that type of conditioning, they game the whole time. That's dangerous. Teofimo, like I said, he don't like to be in there with motherfuckers who could box. Gary Antoine, he coming to, he don't give a fuck what you bring to the table. He coming to rumble. And we seen Hitchens be in the ring with guys who apply pressure and he don't like it. I say this all the time. Just because you a boxer do not mean that you like to fight. A lot of niggas don't like to fight, bro. What I mean is they rather just fight they fight, you know what I mean? Get what they, you know what I mean? Just specialize in what they do and go home. They don't really want to deal with a motherfucker who want to rumble for real. Unless that's their style. You feel what I mean? Like a Keyshawn, he don't mind rumbling you. A Crawford, he don't really mind rumbling you. You know, there's a few motherfuckers that don't mind taking it there if it need to go there. But a lot of people, they like to fight, they fight, and that's it. Anything outside of that is stressful to them. It's overwhelming to them. They don't like to deal with that. Hitchens is one of them. You could tell. He want to fight his fight. He want to win how he knows how to win and go home. You feel me? He don't want to go through, you know, anything outside of that. Because that's too much trouble for him, in my opinion. So I think Gary Antoine would beat Gary Russell. Just my opinion. But, you know, there ain't no shade towards Hitchens. He can box. He good. And you look, I have my, you know, I've had my criticisms about Hitchens. I personally think he a duck. You know, that's just what I personally believe. I think he got selective smoke. I think he got selective smoke disorder. Just my personal opinion. You feel me? Anybody else that, you know, doesn't believe that, that's your right to not believe it. But you can't tell me that I'm just making shit up or I'm blowing smoke. You know, I think that his energy changes in accordance to who's in front of him or who's being spoken about. Yeah, no. Like, I feel how I feel about Hitchens, and I'm standing on that. That don't mean that I'm not a hater. You feel what I mean? I know a lot of people may not believe this, but I'm not a hater. I dislike Teofimo Lopez. I do not like him. But if he puts on a good performance, I'm going to say he put on a good performance. I'm not going to say I dislike Hitchens. I'm not there with him. There's some things that I'm critical of with him. There's some things that he does that I don't, you know, it's a little iffy to me. But I'm not the type dude that because, you know, I got some type of criticism towards Hitchens, I'm going to hate on every move he do. He put on a good performance today. But everybody in the chat right now, the 34 people that's in the building, already knew what type time it was with Kambosos. Kambosos don't got the recipe for somebody like Hitchens. Reform said a lot of these niggas got selective smoke. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, but Hitchens be popping it like he ain't got no selective smoke. Like, he just be with the shits. But, you know, we seen historically in interviews and how the way he acts towards certain names that, you know, he ain't really on that. He not really on that. He's a very calculated dude. Hitchens knows what he's willing to deal with and what he's not willing to deal with. He knows what he's willing to deal with and what he would rather stay away from. I'm going to just say that. I seen him talking about the welterweight division, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you know, 140 being hard to, you know, it's hard to make, but, you know, like, them dudes at 47, they really big, man. Like when you hear that, that sounds like somebody who's unsure of himself. Like, he says certain things where it's like, you know, he coming across as confident, but at the same time, he know his limits. That's just what I pick up from somebody like Hitchens. That don't mean you pussy. That just mean that even though I've called Hitchens pussy in the past, like he be like right on the borderline. You feel me? It don't necessarily mean you pussy, but what I'm saying is you ain't stupid. Hitchens did look weight drained. He did. But this is what we got to realize, people. There's not many people in this boxing game that's walking around at they fight weight. That's very rare. That's very rare, bro. Like I seen Boost at that OTX card yesterday. That's why I didn't even go live yesterday, because I stood up watching that OTX card. You know what I mean? And by the time we was finished, it was already late. So I'm like, you know what, bro? I ain't about to be fucking with y'all that late. So I'm gonna just wait for tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yo, Kai, this is what you gotta understand, Kai. This is what you gotta understand. Just because you watch somebody do something or you seen a recipe that somebody put together in order to beat somebody doesn't mean that you could replicate that. Like boxing's not that easy where you could be like, you know, Hitchens keeping Matias at range. You think that's simple? You think that's simple for somebody like Matias who's constantly applying pressure? Do you know what type of conditioning you're gonna have to keep somebody like Subra Matias at range for 12 rounds? That motherfucker gonna have to jab until his arm fall off trying to do that. You feel what I mean? And then in terms of he should follow Puello's recipe to beat Gary Antoine, how do you know he has that counter-punching ability that Puello has? Show me where he's shown that. That's a totally different fight from what Hitchens is accustomed to. That's not his style. That's not what he do. You feel me? Like if that was the case, why Rayo ain't do it? Why Rayo ain't follow Puello's recipe? It's not that simple, brother. Just because you've seen it done before doesn't mean that you could do it. You feel me? Like Gordon Ramsay could give you a whole recipe on how to, you know, make this shit over here. And you can have all the recipes in front of you. Make the shit and it still don't taste like how Gordon Ramsay's food tastes. Seeing it being done and you being able to do it is different. It's two totally different things. You know what I mean? I just don't like the idea of, you know, it's just I could just sense the recency bias right now, and that's okay. You know what I mean? But I just see it for what it is. Like I said, let's say Matias looks phenomenal against Puello. Let's say he beats the fuck out of Puello. He stops him, whatever. He just brutalizes him, makes him quit, whatever. I'm going to see. And I don't know if it's going to be Kai Fly, but there's going to be people in the building that's going to be like, yo, man, I don't know, man. That boy Matias, man, I don't know if Hitchens could deal with that pressure, man. You seen his power, bro. He don't stop coming, bro. Like, he different. I can see that happening already. It's not simple. Boxing is not simple. It's the hardest sport in the world. Go on Google right now and put world's hardest sport. And ESPN literally has a chart that shows you the hardest sports in the world. And look at what's at number one. Look at what's number one. Hardest sports in the world. Matter of fact, I put it up for y'all. I show this to my fighters all the time. Whenever they have some type of doubt, you know what I mean, or whatever the case is. Let's take a look at this. I show y'all this all the time. I've shown this to y'all before. But just because you've seen it done does not mean that you can do it, brother. I'm going to just say that. Let's share this right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Let's take a look right here. Shout out to ESPN for putting this together. Why don't y'all look at the degree of difficulty, sport rankings. Look at what's number one, people. This is the leader of worldwide sports, ESPN. Look at what's number one. According to ESPN, and I don't know how they measured this, and you know, this is still opinionated at the end of the day, but it says we identified 10 categories or skills that go into athleticism and then asked our 8 panelists to assign a number from 1 to 10 that demands each sport makes of these 10 skills. By totaling and averaging these responses, we arrived at a degree of difficulty number for each sport from 1 to 100 scale. That number places the difficulty performing each sport in context with the other sports we rated. Cool. Look at that. Boxing number 1, ice hockey number 2, football number 3, basketball number 4, wrestling number 5, martial arts number 6. Ain't that a motherfucker that I was a national champion in wrestling, number 5, And I didn't get that far with boxing, unfortunately, but I specialize in a sport that happens to be I specialize in sports that happen to be the top 5 most difficult sports in the world. Ain't that something? According to ESPN, like I said, this is all opinionated. This is like a study they did for real. What's last on the list? Let's take a look. The last on the list is fishing. Out of the 60 things that they rated, fishing is number 60. Billiards, shooting, bowling, curling, archery, equestrian, roller skating, cheerleading, golf. That's crazy. I thought golf would have been a lot higher. But looks like fishing is last. But fishing is a sport. Don't get it fucked up. I done fished before. That shit ain't easy, cuz. I went fishing and was able to catch 2 or 3 fish in a day. And then I went other times and didn't catch a motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? That shit ain't sweet. Golf, I don't know. Golf ain't easy neither, but I think that chart was based off of what it takes, in order to perform at a high level in that sport. I think what it demands of you in terms of physically, mentally, emotionally, shit like that. I think it's safe to say golfing doesn't demand more out of you than boxing. These boxing niggas be golfing to take stress away from boxing. You seen Canelo? No golf, no life. Nigga was so stressed out with boxing, he had to golf every day. That shit was therapeutic. That's what all them rich dudes do. Take their mind off their difficult work schedule. Yeah, man. It definitely ain't easy, brother, but yeah, man. Y'all learn that as y'all continue to learn the sport and shit like that, man. Y'all understand how difficult it is. To be honest with you, I suggest, even if y'all never box, bro, if y'all don't ever want to box, that's cool. If you don't ever want to spar, that's cool. It's not for everybody. But just to give y'all an indication on the difficulty of boxing, book a training session. Like, if y'all really love boxing, bro, like if y'all true boxing fans, I'm not telling you to take a punch. I'm not telling you to compete. I'm not telling you to do none of that. Book a training session, bro, just to see what it demands from you. And then once you sit down and realize, like, bro, this shit is different, it'll give you a different type of respect for the guys who do it at a high level, bro. I'm telling you, I didn't box at a high level. I've coached at a high level. I've never boxed at a high level. But I'm telling you that shit is the most difficult shit in the world to go through. Especially when you balancing other shit. When you gotta make sure your girl good. Nigga, you gotta make sure your grades good. You gotta make sure your parents proud of you. You know what I mean? Shit like that, bro. Stay out of trouble. You gotta make sure you're getting this money for this bill over here. If you get distracted a little bit with boxing, you'll be on the same level as a nigga. You slack or you cut a corner, your level with him could change drastically. There ain't no goddamn showbiz. You know better than to come over here, fuck nigga. You ain't stupid, cuz. Trust me, you ain't stupid. Viz you, I'll send you the link right now. We could talk about it, nigga. You stupid. Yeah, you ain't stupid, cuz. Fuck out of here, nigga. Don't even play with me like that, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. Nobody wants your coon ass on this channel anyway. I'll tell you what, though. I come on your channel and I bet you I embarrass you. I bet you. And I bet you I leave that bitch with a few subscribers. Just like I did on these other niggas' channels. Play if you want to. Everybody think it's sweet. Everybody think it's sweet with this boxing talk until they in front of a nigga who actually know what the fuck they talking about. Shit different. What Canelo say? It's different. It's different when you're in there with me. It's something special. You're gonna see something special and feel. Fucking with me, that's the type of time you're gonna be on. Shout out to my niggas who really know the game though. We tend to be on we tend to be on, you know, the same type of time. You feel me? I always had problems with the niggas who don't know shit. My girl got me drinking out a heart-shaped cup. Ain't that some shit? Girls, man. Girls be so extra. And this girl, literally, wherever I go live, I could go live in the bedroom. Like, I could be laying down in bed going live. She'll follow me there. I could go live from my desk, from the sofa. Whatever the case is, bro, she follow me. But she just falls asleep right there. Huh? Who is this dude? Who is this dude? Who is this dude? This niggas just acting like random niggas. Like, what's going on, bro? But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Let's get into some open boxing topics, man. I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? By the way, I just had a birthday party for my son today at Chuck E. Cheese. Man, it was a great time, bro. It was a really good time. My son had a great time. He was running all around. He loved the cars that, you know, you just swipe the pass on and they move around and he steers the steering wheel. We took some great photos. My family really did their thing, man. Because I'd be so busy with shit, man. And shit, without them, the party would have been a fucking mess. But, you know what I mean? The employees there, they was great. The food was good. You know what I mean? They put together a good cake for me. Like, it was Chuck E. Cheese, but it was Mickey Mouse themed because my son been fucking with Mickey Mouse heavy lately. And, bro, I got a shit ton of gifts, bro. Like I said, shout out to Jay Cash and his wifey for, you know, buying the rest of the shit that was on the list. I had people come to the party that I didn't even think was going to show up for real. I ran into some high school friends that I sent invites to just off of the love, and they showed up. Bro, my son has clothes and swimsuits, and it's crazy. It's overwhelming for real, man. I really got like the best support system like around. Like I'm telling you, like I have the best support system around. Friends, you know, parents, sisters, cousins, girlfriend, YouTube, bro. Like I would never call y'all fans, bro. I would never call y'all fans. I'm nobody to assume that y'all fans. I got the best subscribers on YouTube. And I don't give a fuck how much. I could say that. I was saying that back when I had less than 1K subscribers, bro. I got the best. It's nothing like having a village, Smooshy. That's a fact. That's a fact. It makes things so much easier, bro. I really, and I don't really like to think about things pessimistically, but at the same time, you know, I wonder like how things would be with me if I didn't have that support system, bro. I would be all over the place. So, yeah. I just wanted to put that sidebar in before we continue to talk, man. My son had a great time. He got a lot of cool toys. I'm gonna caught this nigga. Somebody had bought him like a little education, like light up, like a tablet or whatever. And I'm thinking he's asleep. I go check in the room real quick, and he up playing with that fucking tablet. I was like, oh, nah. You having too much fun, brother. Take your ass to sleep. But, yeah, man. If anybody's in the Philadelphia area and they need, like, clothes for a 1-year-old boy, let me know, man. I got a whole bunch of clothes that I need to get rid of because he no longer fits it. Some of this shit still got tags on it. I also got sneakers that no longer fit him. That's fucking basically brand new. My son's spoiled when it comes to clothes and shit like that. You know what I mean? He got a shit ton of toys. I got a lot of cleaning up to do, bro, because, you know, the toys that this kid just got for his birthday is insane. But anyways, let's get into this. Let's see these comments that's in the building real quick. Let's get into these comments real quick. Tay says, I got Andy Cruz beating Mordecai. I think that'll be competitive, man. I think Andy Cruz could definitely beat Mordecai, but Mordecai, you know, I don't think he's as intelligent or as athletic as an Andy Cruz, so I think that Andy Cruz could get off on him. But Mordecai, he got some skills, man. He could pose some problems here and there, but I think Andy Cruz is a special fighter. And, you know, sometimes just being a special fighter could really give you an advantage over a guy. It could really overrule experience in some departments. You feel what I mean? In some situations, like, you know, I always thought Bernard Hopkins was more skilled than Roy Jones, but because Roy was so special in his prime, and I'm not comparing Andy Cruz to prime Roy Jones, but, you know, I'm just throwing out an example that people could really, you know, fuck with or understand. Bernard Hopkins was always the more skilled fighter, in my opinion. But because Roy was so special, he was such a special fighter, one of the most gifted fighters to ever box, it was enough to, you know, break the rules in a way where, you know, regardless of, you know, how much skill you got, I'm such a special fighter that, you know, my special abilities could overrule you in the skill set department. You feel what I'm saying? Smoochie crazy. She said the OTS car last night, Brandon Pizarro from Philly. Y'all related? No, we're not related, but I've always, you know, had those comparisons. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I went to high school with Brandon Pizarro for like a year. He's a couple years younger than me. I think he's 2 years younger than me. So like when I was a junior, he was a freshman. And we used to sit at lunch together and all. He never spoke about being a boxer. And this was at a time where I was a boxer. But like whole time, like he was this decorated amateur, was traveling internationally for tournaments and stuff like that. So I was well aware of who Brandon was when I was like 16, 17. Cool dude. I haven't spoken to him in a while. But I used to go to his gym to bring my professionals over to spar him. So he's a talented fighter, man. I don't really know exactly what happened with that, because I genuinely feel like Brandon Pizarro could have beat Mercado. Mercado didn't really do anything impressive to me. But, yeah, man, when you, you know, I look like a lot of Puerto Ricans. You feel me? Like, so, yeah, we got similar, you know, genetics, and we probably got similar backgrounds. I think I'm a little bit more on the blacker side than Brandon Pizarro in terms of, like, you know, coming from, you know, African ancestry and shit like that. But we do got some similarities. We also got the indigenous. He looked more like one of those indigenous, you know, Puerto Ricans and shit. He like one of them Taino bulls, but, you know, he got that, like, he got an Afrocentric look to him too. So, you know what I mean? That should be interesting to, you know, you could put 4 Puerto Ricans in the same room and they could all look different. Shit is crazy. But regardless, he had what it took to beat Mercado, man. I just think, like, I don't know, bro. He was a bit too defensive. And I feel like he wasn't sitting down on his punches how he should, because from what I've heard, I'm going to tell y'all this. I remember I was at Danny Garcia gym because I was helping this fighter at one point in time. He used to deal with my female cousin and shit. There's one fighter I'm talking about. And Brandon Pizarro was in there sparring. He was in there sparring some kid, bro. It's at Danny's gym, mind you. Danny's gym is a private gym, so that's like invite only. So he was sparring this black bull, right? And I remember they were sparring, right? And Brandon boxing, and Brandon always had fast hands, like really fast hands. He'll go. He came in with a jab and hit dude with a right hook right on the temple. Boom! The boy ate it. Brandon came again. Double jab. Came behind a right hook. Boom! Cracked him. Same shot. Nigga still ate it. He keep coming forward. Brandon Pizarro came back. Boom! Bro, and I tell you, on my son life, the nigga just turned off in the ring. Like 3 right hooks in a row. Boom! 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 Bro, the nigga literally went like this. He was boxing, and when the 3rd right hook hit him, he literally went like this. Bro, the fucking Danny Garcia dad, Angel. Danny Garcia dad, Angel, came in the ring and grabbed him before he fell to the canvas, because that nigga was gonna go right to sleep. Like, he was gonna hit that shit hard, bro. Like, his head, that was a tight joint. Like, his head was gonna bounce off the canvas. So, like, the bull was literally trying his best to try to get in. Boom, 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 and literally like sleep. He was asleep standing up, bro. Swear to God, bro. They took his headgear off. They sat him on the chair. Started pouring all this water on his head. Like, the boy woke up, bro. The nigga dead ass didn't know what happened. Like, he didn't know where he was, what happened. You know what I mean? The boy was trying to get up to continue sparring. It was like, nope, you're not doing that. Like, he didn't even know he even sparred yet. Like, it was like one of them joints. Nah, bro, that wasn't on video. I'm telling y'all some shit that happened behind closed doors. And the only reason why I'm telling it for real is because I don't know who dude was. So it's not like, and I could be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, you know, I could be lying. Y'all could take it for what it is, but I don't lie to the nation. You feel me? But I ain't gonna snitch on who that was. I ain't trying to humiliate or embarrass nobody. But you know, Brandon Pizarro been clicking off in Philly for a minute. Like, he turned pro when he was like 16. Like, right after he left the high school that we was both going to, he turned pro. He turned pro with like hard hitting promotions and shit. And they was really pushing him. Then he lost to like this 8-0 dude from Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? He started getting back in the mix. He was a little inactive here and there. You know what I mean? Then he started training with George Rubio, I believe that's his name, who was training with Teofimo, and that's how he was getting that sparring with Teofimo. He sparred Lomachenko. He sparred a lot of dudes, bro. Like, Brandon done been around, you feel me? But like, I ain't really understand that performance. It was like he didn't want to take risk, and then like I seen like the dude was like swarming him with, like, you know, pushing him against the ropes. And Brandon was like real passive, like was so tolerant of, you know, being on the back foot and almost willing to go to the ropes. Like, the dude wasn't even cutting off the ring for real. Like, Brandon was just so cool with going up against the ropes. The dude would rip shots, and then Brandon literally would be looking at the canvas, not even looking at his opponent, and like throw hooks to try to keep dude up off him. It's like he didn't want to fight on the inside, and it was like, I don't know, bro. Like, that ain't the Brandon that I've seen in sparring. That's not the Brandon that I've seen in previous fights. Like, that didn't look like him. And I'm not making no excuses for the dude. It is what it is. He came up short. But it's like, from what I've seen him do, that ain't nowhere near what I've seen him do in the past. So he got to figure that out. You know what I mean? He really got to figure that out, because that was somebody that he could have beat 7 days out the week and twice on a Sunday, to be honest with you. And, you know, Mercado, like I said, he tough. You know what I mean? He willing to take chances, you know, and shit like that. But, you know, it ain't nothing special to him. What Floyd say? Straight up and down, no special effects. But he did what he needed to do to come and do hometown and beat him. So you got to give him credit for that. You know, I would like to see a rematch for real. You know what I mean? It's not like neither one of these dudes got any big fights on the horizon. I would like to see Brandon and Mercado run it back. I would like to see him bounce back. Why not? I would never hate on my Philly Rican brother. You feel me? Like, you know, Shout out to Tamir Smalls from the same hood as me. He trained with Boots and them. He fucking obliterated dude. Dude ain't belonging there with him, and he showed it. I seen the dude Kurt Scooby beat up on that dude, man. That was crazy work. Leanna Cruz, she came up off the canvas against that 21-year-old girl. And so apparently something happened with her knee or whatever, but she fought through it and got the win. I mean, so that was a good job. OTX had some good, I did feel like, the majority of those fights was like uneven fights. But, when we see uneven fights, sometimes we see some extraordinary knockouts. The main event you're referring to the main event. You talking about Leanna Cruz and I forgot her name. The Mexican girl. Yeah, fixed for one side to win. Yeah, for sure. Like, if OTX really wants to step it up, bro, and really start to get a name, I mean, they gotta put together some more like competitive fights. You feel me? In my opinion. Like Pro Box be putting on some good competitive fights, bro. Like Nicholas Walters and Joseph Adorno, that was a good job. Like they've done some like those Nicholas Flaws and shit. Like those fights he be taking part in, they be good competitive Johns, bro. Like we got to see. I've been waiting to see Nicholas Flaws come back. I'm trying to see what's going on with him. Somebody need to tell me what's going on. What's going on with Nicholas Flaws? I feel like that kid got a lot of fucking potential, bro. Feel me? He's a beast, bro. For those of y'all who don't know who Nicholas Flaws is, he the one who beat Jaheed Tucker. Jaheed Tucker, the one that's supposed to fight Truck soon. I mean, I think that kid got a lot of potential. I can't wait to see Jaheed Tucker versus Truck, by the way. That's going to be a good joint. That's going to be I think that's going to be a shootout for real, for real. So for those y'all who's on, on that no running train, pause. I mean, y'all should check out Jaheed Tucker versus Lorenzo Simpson. You feel me? And then if y'all really want to see a shootout, I was just watching Jin Sasaki, bro. That nigga's a crash dummy. And, they gonna be shooting off the rip, like off the rip, bro. I can see that shit. Brian Norman and Sasaki, they gonna get into it immediately. That's gonna be a bloodbath. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Nick Flaws just fought in the pro. Yeah, I think he fought back in like April or May or something like that. But I mean, I want to see him really do some damage, though. I want to see him get a good fight. I think he good for it. And he been through some up and downs and shit. Like I seen him get sparked by Boa Chica and shit. But he been on a good roll since then. I think he just got caught cold, to be honest with you. Looking at Nicholas Fly's record, I don't know what the fuck he was doing fighting Normatov. I thought Normatov was like a middleweight. He is. That's crazy. Damn, but Normatov ain't fighting like 5 years. What happened to him? He gave up. Them European dudes don't be having no trouble walking away from boxing, bro. A lot of them dudes already be having money, so they be like, fuck it. Anyways, let's see what we talking about. You think Buckley gonna KO Usman? How about a cut off the ring rule fix? How about a no drug cheat rule? How about a no racism rule? Niggas worried about the wrong shit for real. Y'all so intimidated by a style that y'all trying to eliminate it because you know you ain't got the skill set to beat it. You can't stop it, so you trying to get rid of it. Niggas is soft, cuz. Niggas is really soft. This a weird ass society we coming up in, cuz. To be honest with you. Should I do a reaction to this UFC shit? I'm not really like, I mean, I ain't no expert in this UFC shit. Like, I can't really break this shit down like how, you know. I can't break this down like everybody, you feel me? Nigga said, fuck UFC. UFC be having some lit shit sometimes, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look at me and my son in the we had to collect tickets, but we was like inside like this, like I guess chamber, I guess you would call it, where it's like my son wasn't trying to grab none of the Jones, bro. Like the tickets all flying around, and you gotta grab as many as you can. That little nigga was not helping; he was just watching. That was a good job. As soon as we left, that's how he was. Look, that nigga was rocked. Let me see. My son had a all Jordan set on. That shit wasn't cheap neither. Car ride, get them every trip. Yeah, it's something about being in the car that just get them niggas real tired. Nah, they ain't Chrome Heart shorts, bro. This some shit I got as a gift, bro. This ain't. It's probably like a replica of Chrome Hearts, but no, it ain't. It ain't Chrome Hearts. Mark Davis, that's hilarious. Nah, this shit probably out, cuz I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I just be wearing what I feel like nice. You feel me? Like I don't really be worried about the name brand shit. You feel me? Like I had found this. I was scrolling through Instagram and I seen these watches that I like, so I bought one. I bought an all black watch and then I bought like a silver watch with like a blue face on it. And every time I be at work with the black watch, they be like, "Yo, you got an AP on?" I'm like, "No, I ain't buying no APs and shit." I said, "No, this some John." I mean, I seen online and shit. He was like, "That look like an AP." So there was a few people that came up to me and was like, "Yo, bro, that's an AP." Like, no. So then I did my research on the AP and my watch looked exactly like an AP. And I'm like, damn, niggas probably fronting. Niggas think I'm probably fronting thinking this is an AP. I'm like, bro, I don't know nothing about this shit. Keep it real with you. Like, I don't know nothing about APs, rollies, none of that. I can't tell you nothing about none of that shit, bro. I ain't really grow up valuing that shit. And I never had to do the most to get the attention I was looking for. You feel me? So, I mean, I ain't never really care about that. But now that I look at it, it definitely looked like some chrome heart shit, but it ain't. Yeah, bro. Like the niggas that be all flashy and shit, they be trying to ask me for bread, cuz. So like, I'd rather just deal with that. You feel me? Like there's a few things I got that's expensive. Like I got some expensive shit, but I mean you ain't about to catch me out here with it because you know what I mean niggas is hungry out here. You feel me? I ain't trying to be no victim. I'm trying to stay around for my son because shit treacherous out here, bro. Where that? Let me see where that John at. This is a nice little tennis bracelet I bought myself. You know what I mean? Shit, dancing like MJ out this motherfucker. I get a lot of compliments on this. This was expensive. But that's a good John. You know, I had this chain. This a little somebody bought me the pendant. It was one of my Smoochie, that shit expensive, bro. I was like, yo, I'm not doing this no more. I don't know how niggas do this shit and then be feeling good about themselves. But you say you would like that link as a necklace? I mean, fuck it. Since we on here chopping it up, we might as well watch the UFC joint too. Fuck it. Why not?
All right, now for a look at tonight's plays and knockout moment brought to you by Buckley Wild Wings. And we go back to the prelims.
Rose look like the type of bitch that keep it hairy. Demonetized. Demonetized. Good night, Smoochie. Have a good night. It is late. I'm trying to tell you, she Rose look like she keep that John. Yeah, I mean, she keep that Reggie Bush on her. You heard? Shout out to Smoochie though. She got wrenched for the reason. She one of the homies. Let me see. Coffee Plant said thoughts on Tank and Rose saying they want a link in the streets. I ain't even see that for real, bro. Like I've been out moving. Obviously, like I said, it was my son's birthday and shit. But like, man, niggas just talking. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm sick of these niggas, bro. Why the fuck y'all gonna link in the streets in the fight? To fuck up y'all money cause niggas want to be emotional? Shut up. Shut up. The fuck y'all want to link in the streets for, nigga? Fuck y'all y'all about to make millions. Fuck if y'all niggas really want to handle that shit, bro, handle that shit in the ring like y'all supposed to. Y'all had a first John, y'all both did y'all thing, you know what I mean? Shit ended in a draw. It is what it is. Y'all in a position where y'all about to fight each other again, make more money, because there's gonna be more demand for the fight. That niggas gonna sell more tickets. It's gonna be more talked about. Because everybody was overlooking, Lamar Roach initially. So now y'all about to run it back again. More people gonna pay attention. It's gonna do better numbers. Keep that shit in the ring, dog. Like, and they probably are. They probably just doing this shit for promotion and get us to talk about it. But at the end of the day, it's like, come on, dog. Might try to hear that gangster shit, nigga. Y'all niggas not gangster anyway. Like, I'm not saying y'all wouldn't fight each other out in the street, but for what? For what? That's dumb as shit. That's that Keyshawn shit. Y'all niggas want to be on that Keyshawn type time? Like nobody trying to hear that shit, cuz. So it's like, cut that shit out, man. Y'all need old heads to tell y'all niggas y'all wildin'. How that shit even start? I'm about to go look at that shit right now. You want to see that Albright versus Keyshawn rematch? I mean, that's that'll be a good little build up or whatever the case is. But it's like, and considering technically Keyshawn didn't beat him because he tested positive for marijuana. But it's like I don't know. I don't really know if I want to see that. I'd rather see Keyshawn in bigger fights. But Nair definitely deserves a big fight, though. Where that nigga boxing ego a faggot, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Damn, I shouldn't have said that. But he really, that's crazy. Boxing Ego is one of my favorite channels coming up. That nigga's a clown now. Talking about Devin Haney resume aging like dog water. Like, nigga, what you think gonna happen to motherfuckers over time? They gonna diminish, bro. And I'm sure he was referring to George Kambosos. But it's like, what you mean resume aging? How about at the time that he beat him? He beat Kambosos at a time where he was just coming off of a win against Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? And he beat him again in the rematch, and became undisputed off of George Kambosos. Now, what happens after Kambosos after the fact? They ain't got nothing. That's out of Devin Haney's control. The only thing that's in Devin Haney's control is the version that he beats at that point in time. You feel me? So you can't say that and then be like, you can't look over Terrence Crawford. All right, based off of that, then some of Terrence Crawford's wins may have aged like dog water. So let's talk about one of Terrence Crawford's biggest wins. Yorkis Gamboa. At the time he beat Yorkis Gamboa, he was the fucking man. But then he went on to, fall off a little bit, lose to niggas he ain't had business losing to. Did that win age like dog water? No, not at all, because the version of Gamboa that he beat was the best version of Gamboa. The version that Devin Haney beat of George Kambosos was the best Kambosos. Come on, dog. Y'all niggas just be looking for any reason to hate. Like, I don't know. Do I think Keyshawn will fight Russell? I don't think that's gonna be his debut at 140. I don't think that. I don't think he's going into the smoke like that. But I think he probably would. I don't know. We gotta see what type time Keyshawn on at 140. Motherfucker was acting like he didn't care about belts. And shout out to everybody on Twitter that's been recommending me as a channel for Devin Haney to get interviewed on. I think that's dope, bro. I had like 3 or 4 people, refer me, and I thought that's dope. I like that that the people fuck with me like that. You feel me? Looks like Gervonta Davis and Truck are cool again. I gotta see that interaction between Roach and Tank. Let me see if Fight Hype got it or something like that. Some channel. I'm seeing, but I'm tuned in to the UFC fight, by the way, y'all. I'm just you know what I mean? I'm not really about to give y'all no fucking analyst or breakdown or anything like that, because this out of my league. You feel me? This ain't within my, I guess you would say, parameters. I don't know. This ain't really for me to be breaking down. I can't tell y'all nothing about no guillotines and no calf kicks and nothing like that. I can't. They ain't my thing, but you feel me? We could definitely watch it and give a reaction. We could definitely do that. Shout out to my UFC fans in the building, man. Trying to put this shit on the TV right now. Shout out to my Nigerians out there. I got heavy ancestry. One of my biggest DNA results came out of Nigeria. So shout out to my Nigerians out here. You feel me? I fuck with my Nigerians heavy. You heard? You know what I mean? My Bantu, I got heavy DNA in Nigeria, the Bantu tribe. Well, Yoruba, my Yoruba tribe and all that. Heavy DNA over there. And Usman looking to prove himself because from what I heard, he ain't been doing too well in his previous bouts. It's probably because of his injuries and shit like that. He lost a lot of momentum after he got sparked by Leon Edwards. He been having trouble getting back in a rhythm because he was on a hell of a run, especially when he sparked Masvidal and all that. He was in his bag, but it's been hard for him to, get his grip back on the division since then. So we about to see, because I seen Buckley rumble before. That's a strong motherfucker. So we about to see what type time Usman on. He looked big as shit. He looked cut the fuck up. So maybe that's just his Nigerian genetics. You feel me? Them niggas be coming out the womb looking strong as hell. So
A lot of times winning these fights by just dominating with the ground, dominating with the knockouts. This man has a crazy background of being able to take down
Usman, 3 losses in a row. Damn. I heard Usman's knees was so bad that he got to walk down steps backwards. So, like, he ain't got to bend them and shit. So that's crazy. To continue to fight with them type problems, that's wow. If you gotta walk down the steps backwards, that'd be enough for a nigga like me to retire. Crazy. It's good that Usman cut that hairline. You know what I mean? He was bugging. I don't know why he was holding on to that motherfucker, boy. That shit was bad. That shit was definitely bad. These close odds. So this shit, okay. These odds ain't terrible. So the odds maker's not really too sure of Buckley. I'm gonna just watch this shit off my phone because my TV tweaking a little bit. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Let's see what's going on in the building. Damn, where Bruce Buffer at? Why this nigga screaming for? Wow, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this live fight reaction. You said Usman on HGH. You know what's crazy, Breezy? That went through my head. I ain't even gonna lie to you because I was looking at his abs and how the way his shit looked. Looked like he had like, and this ain't me saying he on it, but like looking at his abdominal area, looked like he had like injections or some shit. But that's not me saying that. I mean, he ain't never test positive, so I'm not gonna assume. But that shit look his abdominal area looked kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. When he was doing his ring walk, it looked real weird. Buckley with the shits. He ain't giving that nigga no respect, and he shouldn't. But when they did that face off, I seen Buckley. He was like, "Man, I'm about to fight Kamaru Usman, man. What the?" So he got to play it cool. He can't be starstruck. They about to rumble. They about to get down. You said Bruce. You said Bruce stuck in Riyadh. Really? They got him doing events over there. That motherfucker Turkey got Dana White in a headlock. For sure. Okay, I ain't know Buckley was a southpaw. Yeah, Buckley already using a whole lot of energy. All that movement, in and out movement and shit. Yeah, Kamaru, he got a lot of muscle, bro. Has he always been like that? To be 38, I mean, you could chalk that up to genetics and shit. Ooh, that was a good slip takedown. He slipped the shot and got the takedown. He got Buckley down. That was smart. Buckley trying to reposition himself. He trying to stand up. Standing up on one arm right now. Damn, my shit tweaking. Hold up. Yeah, Kamaru got that. He got that takedown immediately. Yeah, I'm not. I never really watched UFC too closely, so I can't assume. But this nigga got a whole lot of muscle on him for 38 years old. They say your testosterone drops significantly in your 30s, so to be in your late 30s and still have that type of muscle is crazy. But like I said, I'm not. I can't assume. That could be genetics. You know what I mean? Them Nigerians' genetics are insane. Yeah, Usman got him down immediately. Good way to attempt to sap the energy of Buckley because he seemed real energetic. You feel me? Buckley is strong, so I think keeping him off his feet would be best. Usman definitely got to find a way to at least get some ground to pound off. Can y'all hear me, y'all? Here goes StreamYard on bullshit. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Shout out to the 20 people that's in the building. Ooh. I mean, if y'all saying he got ankle and knee injuries like that, why would he want to keep it on the feet? So yeah, he's dominating right now. Like the majority of this round, he done had top mount, and he's actually, putting in a little bit of work too. Not nothing, no devastating shots or anything like that, but he definitely swarming them, cracking them to the body, laying in some head shots. He mixing in some elbows, and like I said, it's nothing too, devastating, but it's getting him the points that he needs to win the round. We got a minute left in the first, from what I'm seeing, and this is definitely a Usman round. Now, how many rounds is this gonna be? This is like it's a 5-round bout. I mean, if I'm Usman, this is definitely the game plan. Like, if this dude wrestling is really that trash, where his takedown defense really sucks, this is what I would do for 5 rounds. That's what I would do. Not the most entertaining fight. But, I don't really hear UFC fans coming out saying, there needs to be a no wrestling rule. You feel me? Like in boxing, oh, man, they move too much, man. We need to get rid of this. Yeah, he looked like he cut Buckley, too. Buckley's definitely cut. It might have been one of them elbows. But he's the superior wrestler, man. Like, this is clear. Oh, wow. That was a good fucking round for Usman, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Cut man getting right to work on Buckley. Let's see how bad that cut is. Let's see where that cut is at. I can't see it. Ooh, bad spot. Right above the eye. That's a nice little split, too. The cut man definitely got to get to work on that, or he's going to have vision problems for the duration of the fight. You don't want that. Almost a 10-9 round. Well, that's definitely a 10-9 round. You probably meant a 10-8. There's no way you could get that round to Buckley. Almost a 10-8 round. I think that's what you meant, Breezy. That definitely ain't a 10-10. If Usman could do that for the rest of this fight, he'll win. But I don't really know anything about Buckley's stand-up game, too. I just know he's strong. If I'm Buckley, I'm trying to keep this on the feet and don't overextend on punches, because that could give Usman the opportunity to slip and shoot. Yeah, Buckley, he got a lot of energy. So you wanna take him away from that. You called him Buckley. Kamaru walking him down, and he throwing high kicks. I don't know what he's trying to set up or what his intentions are. But Usman's doing a great job. And look, Buckley's trying to swarm. He's actually trying to take down Kamaru. That's interesting. Ooh. Kamaru almost had an opportunity to get another takedown right there, but he was off balance. Buckley's wild, man. He's definitely wild as fuck. Like his boxing looks trash. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Usman looked like the cleaner boxer thus far. It just seemed like Buckley just be on some reckless, wild shit. Is this how he been getting off? Is that like his game or what? Oh, another good takedown for Usman. Yeah, Usman's gonna Usman's on a different level than this guy, bro. Yeah, Buckley ain't got no answers for him on the feet. Usman's it looked like his experiences was paying off. He's a lot more composed than Buckley. Buckley looked like he was just wasting a whole lot of energy, just throwing silly shit. And his takedown defense is not great based off of what I'm saying. Yeah, Buckley's wild. It don't look like he puts any thought into his offense at all. It don't look like anything calculated for real. He's trying to get up, but you can just tell Kamaru is just on a different level with the wrestling. Oh, he got him right off of that cage. Buckley trying to get wrist control, but he don't look like he got many solutions right now. I don't understand why Roy even said that for real though, John, because if that was the case, Eastside Cruz would be undefeated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you necessarily coming forward means you usually win the fight. It all depends on what that dude who's going backwards, depends on what he's doing. Feel me? Because if that's the case, De Los Santos would have beat Shakur. He can be right. And he could probably provide some examples, but I could show you fights where dude's been on the back foot the whole time against pressure fighters and cook them. So I don't even understand why Roy's saying that. Roy should know better than that. He done been through a whole lot more boxing shit than me. I seen Chris Algieri on the back foot against Ruslan, the whole fight and beat him. But yeah, Buckley ain't got no answers for Kamaru's wrestling, man. And that ground and pound is starting to pile up too. Oh man, Kamaru got top mount. And he's bleeding like a motherfucker, boy. Buckley is bleeding bad. Buckley frustrated. That's 2-0 Usman. That's 2-0 Usman, man. Clearly. But I see Usman over there taking them deep breaths. When you get up there in them late 30s, that win be a little bit harder to get back. You know what I mean? He got another 3 rounds. I definitely want to watch that Taporia and Oliveira fight, though. I might have to tune into that one. When's that? June 23rd. Okay. Round 3. So this is definitely Kamaru Usman fight so far. Buckley gotta slow it down. He gotta slow it down a little bit, man. Like it's like real like he just seems real panicky. That was a good leg kick from Buckley. But gotta look, he's just utilizing so much energy. Look at that. Look at that. Just rushing in with knees, with flying knees, and no educated jab, no feints. If I'm Usman, I'm waiting for Buckley to come in with some reckless shit and just do another takedown. Usman showing this dude that, I'm older, but don't get it fucked up. I'm a vet. You feel me? That's what it's looking like. Usman's composure just levels above Buckley. You just see who's a more experienced guy just off of, how the way they carrying themselves in the ring. Buckley looked like that young dude that just, you could tell he ain't been around the block that much. Ooh, Usman got to be a little careful, though. Buckley throwing wild shit. One of them Johns land, it could be a bad John. For Usman to come off of it, and I know we still got a whole lot of fight left, but, Usman coming off of a 3-fight losing streak and then coming back and winning against, Buckley, who's currently, number 7 in the welterweight division. That'd be a good win for him. I've seen a lot of people doubting ooh. That was a good fucking shot from Buckley. Well, he got the single leg, another fucking takedown. Usman's a bad motherfucker, bro. Ooh, them elbows. Usman is really schooling this kid, bro. And Buckley, if he don't learn, good body shots from Usman. If Buckley needs to work on his wrestling, bro. There's no reason why he should be taking you down this effortlessly. Especially knowing that Usman come from a wrestling background. This ain't a good John, bro. This is a bad look. You need to be doing some type of takedown defense. And, look, even if you prepare for it, maybe he's just that superior of a wrestler where it's like you really don't got enough time to keep up with him. But this is an older version, of Usman. This is a Usman that's on a decline, bro. Like, there's no reason why you making this motherfucker look like he turned the clock back. You know what I mean? So, and Buckley's trying to fight back. He's trying to stand up, but Usman is either too strong or his wrestling just ain't up to par to get his, to get back up on his feet. And Buckley is bloody. He's getting punched on. Looked like Buckley about to get back up to the feet, but now we seeing, Usman kneeing him behind his legs. I know that little shit hurt. 37 seconds left in the round. At 38 is hella impressive. Yeah, he like I said, Buckley's inability to wrestle is making Kamaru look like he back on his bullshit. Wow. This got to be exhausted on Buckley's behalf. Like, you just see that he trying to do everything in his power. to get back up on his feet, but he just can't. That's 3-0 Usman, bro. What's this hand around the neck shit that Usman's doing with his coach? Is that normal? Is that to like get his oxygen through his, arms, or what is this? What is this arms around? This nigga got his arms around his neck like they like about to slow dance at a high school prom or some shit. What's going on? What's that about? He don't want to sit down because he don't want to lock his knees. That all right, I understand that, but why he got the arms around his neck though? Like they about to slow dance at prom or something. I don't understand that. I understand if you don't want to sit down. Wow, this is 3-0 Usman so far, man. Buckley got to stay on his fucking feet because as far as I'm concerned, that's his best chance. Ooh. See, Buckley's reckless. So that's like a pro and a con. So because he's reckless, he could catch a motherfucker with a shot that they don't expect. But what's a con is him coming in reckless could leave him open for counters, whether he's getting countered with a punch or he gets countered with a fucking takedown. So there's pros and cons to Buckley's style for sure. Buckley would do well with a motherfucker who don't like pressure fighters though. But Usman, he's nice and composed, bro. I even think Usman has better hands than him, to be honest with you. Why did for those of y'all who watch UFC, and I know that the fight's not over yet, we in round 4, but why did people believe that Buckley was gonna fry Usman? Because I seen people saying that, there's gonna be like he was gonna body bag Usman. So I'm trying to figure out what was it. Because even let's say Buckley sparking, still don't change the fact that he got outclassed for 3 rounds. He's a younger Kamaru, lost 3 in a row. Oh, this nigga said Kamaru. Going to bed? I'll be over there soon, babe. Kai Fly, man, the more you stick around, the more you realize, man, I got points for days, brother. He said, but you made a point about the no running rule being contradictory because nobody says shit like no ground and pound in the UFC. Yeah, because fans understand that's part of the game. You feel me? They understand that wrestling is part of the game. People understand that, ground and pound is a part of the game. And from what I understand in UFC, like if you take somebody down and there ain't no action taking place, oh shit. Buckley, wow, this nigga Buckley's takedown defense is super ass, bro. Okay, he was able to actually stuff that takedown a little bit, but he off balance, so he might just fall short. What the fuck is going on right now? Oh, wow, he took him down. Yeah, this nigga Buckley, wow. Wow. Shout out to Usman for staying composed and still following through with the takedown. But yeah, Buckley has some learning to do, brother. Like he's being schooled right now. But going back to Kai Fly's point, while Kamaru grounds and pounds this dude for the rest of this round, yeah, man, like people don't say that because they know that's part of the game. And UFC fans are actually UFC fans. You feel me? Like that. I feel like that's the main difference between UFC fans and boxing fans. And don't get me wrong, there are some people that watch UFC that are strictly like fans of like an individual fighter, like Taporia, Holloway, whatever the case is. But it feels like, UFC fans are like genuinely intrigued with, the sport in itself. Like in boxing nowadays, it's like they just care about a specific fighter and that's it. UFC fans, I feel like they appreciate, the different styles that the sport presents. And boxing is like, oh, just, and this has been pushed by media companies, like media outlets that, are paid to push certain agendas. Like Oscar De La Hoya said, these media outlets, be getting paid to, what's Buckley saying? They get paid to push certain narratives, you feel me? So, they're pretty much paid to be told, let's try to get rid of this style or let's shit on this style to, get fans to, go against it so we can convince fighters to sit in the pocket more, like little bullshit like that. You feel me? That type of shit don't happen in the UFC. By the way, that was the end of the fourth round. Buckley needs a knockout. It's really that simple. He needs a submission. He needs a knockout, something, because he has not won a round yet. And he has nobody to blame but himself. You feel me? Like, this dude's takedown game is shitty. What is this dude's background? What is Buckley's background? Like, if they, how they be like, oh, this is a Muay Thai fighter, or this is a submission specialist. What is this? What is Buckley's background? What is he? He can't be a wrestler, bro. There's no way. What is Buckley's background? Somebody please tell me what it is. If he's a wrestler, this is embarrassing. Jiu-jitsu, like, what's his thing? Did he come from boxing? He couldn't have come from boxing. He was a wrestler? Really? Buckley came. Ooh. Usman cannot exchange with this dude. This dude is still strong. He's still fast. So I'm going to give Buckley credit for that. He got a good gas tank from what I see. But still reckless as fuck. No, like, thoughts behind his punches. If he came from wrestling, bro. What wrestling school he came from, man? Listen, I understand that, some wrestlers are better than others, but, like, this dude has not stopped a takedown yet. This nigga Kamaru, like, 4 for 4. He stuffed the last one for a little bit, but he still got taken down. Look at this. Another one. Oh, no, he actually stopped that one. Okay, he stuffed one takedown. So Kamaru, like, 4 for 5 right now. He got an 80% success rate. But something tells me Buckley's going to throw a wild-ass punch, and Kamaru's going to counter it with a takedown. Look, okay, he stuffed another one. That's good. Okay, Buckley, on his shit. Buckley needs a knockout, y'all. We got 3.5 minutes left in the cage. Yeah, Kamaru, he trying to get the takedown. You don't reach like that, though, bro. Buckley will kick the fuck out you, nigga. Don't get reckless. You got to set it up. For real, and I don't suggest this for anybody because you never know what the judges are thinking. But Usman could take this round off, to be honest with you. Okay, Buckley's doing a really good job of defending these. He stopped 3 takedowns in this round alone, and he gets taken down. No, he stopped that one. That's good. Ooh. He stopped 5 takedowns this round, actually. That's good. But that don't change the fact that you got dominated these last 4. Yeah, you should have did that. Should have did that in the first round, brother. You probably could have got a different outcome. You still got 2 minutes. Let's see what happens. Oh. Oh, wow. Usman got to be careful, man. I would not sit in front of this dude. I would not sit in front of this dude at all, to be honest with you. He's still fast. He's still strong. He's still explosive in the 5th round. You gotta play that. You gotta be cautious with these type dudes because you could be winning. You could be winning. They catch you with some hot shit. You know what I mean? And the fight go a whole different way. Wow, Usman might be able to get this dub. Oh, wow. Usman got to tighten up, man. It's dangerous. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ooh, and the thing about Buckley is he's feeling the urgency, too. So he trying to leave it all in there. You feel me? He trying to get that home run shot. Usman got to be careful. 40 seconds left. I swear to God, I would be on the back foot just moving the rest of this round. Why I got to sit here and exchange with this dude when I got 4 rounds in the bag? An uppercut. Buckley just hit him with a left hook. Yeah, he needs to chill, bro. 20 seconds. Oh, man, you could tell Usman's knees are chopped. Crazy that he could fight with them type of problems. 10 seconds left. Hold on, Usman. Hold on, Usman. Oof. Wow, Usman got that fight, y'all. 4-1. That was easy work for Usman. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Buckley fucked himself over, man. If he would have had that same takedown defense, mind you, that could have been, Usman being fatigued in the 5th round, which is why he couldn't really impose himself from a wrestling aspect like he did in the previous rounds. That's probably why all those takedowns got stuffed. But regardless, if he would have did that in the 1st round, we could be having a totally different conversation right now. Yeah, bro, that was easy work. Like, I'm keeping 1,000. That was like, how they be scoring this shit? 46, 49 or some shit. 49, 46, Usman. That's an easy fight to score. If a judge got a different score outside of that, they need to be investigated. This was easy work. Like, this shouldn't take long to decide nothing. But yeah, this shouldn't take long to judge or anything like that. So we'll see. Anything outside of 49, 46 is fuckery. Just keep it 1,000 with you.
Here is Joe Martinez. Well, fight fans, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals: 49-46, 49-46, and 48-47.
48-47. How?
Unanimous decision. The Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru.
Right person got it. 48-47 is crazy though. 3-2. What round did you give Buckley outside of the 5th? These niggas be dickheads, bro. Some shit like y'all just be trying too hard to be different.
Rising star in the welterweight division. How are you feeling, my friend?
Usman crying.
Feels good, Paul. It's been a while. I needed to get that monkey off my back. I know I'm still able to do this at the highest level. You know, sometimes when you're going up against a young, hungry guy like that, very talented, very aggressive, you got to pull out the skills and use your experience. And that's what I did tonight.
You could tell he's the more experienced guy.
That comes with time. So I feel good. I just want to say thank you to everybody. ATL, Atlanta, thank you guys so much for coming out and showing up for me. I appreciate it.
We know you as a dominant wrestler in this division, Kamaru, but to come out in every round, except for the fifth, you were able to use one takedown, get him down, control him, ground and pound. Did you expect to be able to do that, or did you think it would be a little bit harder for you in this fight?
No, I mean, I expected him to be.
The referee let his daughter play with his beard. That's funny as shit.
Very talented guy. I show love and respect to all these guys because I know what it takes to work and get up in here, and especially going up against a guy like myself with all the experience. You know, thank you to him for bringing everything that he brought. I know it's a running joke. Everybody want to get on the internet.
Well, Kamaru, you talked to me earlier this week when we had the fighter meetings. You talked about big plans. You talked about that belt. You talked about even possibly a middleweight belt. I'm pretty sure you just put the
Kamaru's one of the greatest welterweights
What would you like?
based off his,
Well, I can do that to anybody, any one of them. But like I said, I needed to get that monkey off my back. Early on in my career, as I was rolling, once I had that monkey off my back and I knew I was rolling, I was able to open up. And you guys saw those spectacular knockouts. I still got them in there. I got some of the best minds in the game. With coaches like Henry Booth, Trevor Whitman, George Santiago, Ben Charrington, all my training partners. Those knockouts will come. I just needed to get this monkey off my back. The next one, whoever it is for that title, I'm going to see about you. Before we go, I just want to say, man, I had a lot of emotions coming into this one. Like I said, it's been a long time. A lot of emotions, a lot of things that I had to battle back from. I'm holding back all the emotions. Unfortunately, my daughter couldn't be here with me tonight. That's another long story, but man, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to my family, my coaches who kept me going. Buckley, for bringing the challenge. Respect. The rest of the welterweight division, listen, I have been and all.
It is awesome to have you back. Kamaru Usman, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to have a word with Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin, you came in here, you got to face off against somebody that was a former champ. You battled, you fought to the bitter end there and had some good success in that fifth round. How are you feeling after that, my friend?
I'm going to just be honest with you right now. I'm just beyond just honored, man, to be in this octagon, man, with somebody who's known as one of the best, right? One of the goals to do, So for us to go 5 rounds, put on an amazing fight, man, I'm just so happy. So I done came a long way, and y'all see me here. This ain't going to be the end. We just getting started, baby. We just getting started. We'll be back.
Listen, I know you're going to go and you're going to improve from this. I can't wait to see you return. Let's hear from Joaquin Buckley, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, that was a good job, man. And you can just tell the difference in experience. You feel what I'm saying? Kamaru, like I said, like y'all say in the comments, he a legend and he's accomplished some great shit at the welterweight division and in the UFC. So he's been in situations and been up against competition that Buckley hasn't seen thus far in his career. So you could just tell there was a different, level of composure on Usman's side. And, Buckley, he had the right idea in the 5th round, but by that time he already had lost every round. So his inability to, be quick with, his takedown defense in those 4 rounds, that's what cost him. You know what I mean? That definitely cost him. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh shit, they. Dwight Howard and Lance Stevenson start rumbling. It ain't look like no punches was thrown, but they was tossing each other around. But anyways, yeah, man. So that was my live fight commentary to Richardson Hitchens versus George Kambosos and Kamaru Usman versus Buckley. I can't pronounce his first name. My apologies. I am a casual, very casual UFC fan, but I hope y'all enjoyed it nonetheless, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna get some rest with, you know, me and my babies. You feel me? So I'll be back at y'all with another live tomorrow to continue to speak on the boxing world. You feel what I mean? Until then, y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.